All right, when you live with someone and have to divide responsibilities, like in a marriage or a long-term relationship, sometimes what they call the mental load can fall to the balance of one person, and that person can feel overwhelmed. That's why Dr. Molly Burrets joins us now. She's a clinical psychologist to help us restore balance in the relationship. Doctor, thanks for joining us. The mental load, my wife and I often joke about. She says, you got to carry your mental load around here all the time. I like to describe it like all the intangibles that usually one person in the couple takes care of, right?
Yeah, the mental load is all the invisible things that come along with managing a household or a family. And so I don't mean cooking and cleaning. I don't mean providing financially. Those things are visible. Someone can literally see you doing them.
Right.
The mental load is all the stuff people can't see, like scheduling appointments, remembering birthdays, signing the kids up for camp. The list is truly endless.
My favorite video is of when they ask all the guys, what's your daughter's doctor's name, or the friend, and the guys have no clue. The dads are like, I don't know. And the mom knows all the information because they're carrying a lot of times the mental load. How can we bring this up in a conversation? Because a lot of times between couples, it becomes a battle, not a sharing of responsibilities, a sharing of this load. How do we bring that up?
Yeah, and this is a tough one because it does fall disproportionately on women. Even though more than 70% of moms work outside the home, we still carry the majority of the mental load. And where we go wrong is that we usually bring it up when we're already frustrated, and we often start it off with like an accusation or a complaint. And so that can sound something like, you never help. And starting a discussion like that is really ineffective because it sets your partner up to be defensive. You're not going to get the constructive discussion that you want. So I tell people to do two things. The first thing is start off with an I statement, talking about how you feel. So I'm feeling really overwhelmed managing everything for the kids' school right now. And then the second thing is state your desire for an outcome directly and just say, I'd really like us to work together to find a better balance for this stuff.
Right. And it's interesting, you bring that up, and I hate to say this, but my wife does all of those things. She usually starts the conversation with like, look, I see you emptying the garbage and doing the dishes, but I am feeling overwhelmed with this. So that's an acknowledgement there of, hey, it's not physical, it's not all the tasks like you said before, doctor. This is the more intangible stuff. When we talk about sharing that, how do you go about dividing that up? And that can be tricky because quite literally with the more kids you have, the more responsibility, and the more teachers you have to email about homework and mathematics and which book we're using, it becomes overwhelming.
Absolutely, and that's why it helps to have two people participating. But, everyone remembers what it was like to have a group project in school, And it's hard to go back to that, but you want to think about the household like it is a group project. And the best thing to do is start with, what are people's strengths, right?
Yeah.
Assign tasks based on people's strengths. The first thing you got to do is make the invisible visible. So make a comprehensive list of all the tasks and then sit down and based on people's strengths, assign them.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up is a weekly check-in. Discuss what's coming up for the week and just review with each other how it's going to be divided.
Family calendar. I don't care which calendar you use. We use Cozy, but you got to get one of those too because it helps tremendously. But also, I want, Doctor, let's also talk about bringing the kids into this, because if we want to teach the next generation not to do this and fall, most of it fall to one, bringing kids can also help alleviate some of that huge task and teach them responsibility.
Absolutely. Here's what I do. My little one is too little to do this, but my older one is 6.5. And here's what I do with him. I'll say to him, hey, what do you notice around the house needs to be done? And that is so much better than just assigning him and telling him what to do, because it starts him thinking in a way that's proactive and gets him noticing the tasks that are required to run a household without being handheld through it. So I'll see him look around and he'll say, oh, there are dirty dishes in the dishwasher. And I'll say, what do you think you can do about that?
right? And it's not, I mean, what you said right there, what do you notice around the house? It starts their mind clicking into just reaction to be proactive, and that sets the whole tone right there. Dr. Burrets, thank you so much for joining us, helping us share the mental load, because let's face it, my wife has been doing it for most of my marriage, and I need to step up. I need to get better. Doctor, thank you so much.
You can do it. You can do it.
We'll do. Thanks, Doctor. I appreciate it.